Welcome to a month in my reading life. Good Tuesday morning, the 12th of April. I'm going shopping for prom clothes today, and I don't like to shop, especially for clothes. My son does not like to shop, especially for clothes, and we need to find him a nice button-up shirt to wear, a suit jacket or like a sports coat to wear over the top, and a tie. I think we're going to start at Goodwill, and then I don't know. If we can't find it at Goodwill, I mean, I can go to like Men's Warehouse, but this is not something that he's going to wear all the time. So I kind of am like, I don't want to spend a ton of money on something that he's going to wear once. So I know it's much harder when you're girls. I did take my girl prom shopping. This is not something that I thought I would do with him because he's always been homeschooled and he didn't really care much about it. But he has a big group of friends here and they're all going to prom this weekend, and so they invited him to come with them. So it's going to be a lot of fun. He just is not really looking forward to it yet because he doesn't want to dress up. And he always feels weird, like being the odd person out at their school events. But I think once he gets there, he's going to have a really good time. So that's it. And then it's Tuesday, and my family goes out to dinner every Tuesday. And today is my husband's pick. And he's already picked a burger place that we've never been to before. So that is the plan. That's it. So I have some work to get done this morning, and then I'm just going to get as much reading done as possible during the prom shopping event. Again, in the car, I can listen or not, depending on how much talking he wants to do. I am finishing 7 Spanish Angels today. That's one of my 6 days. Like, I have it read in 6 days. And so I think as soon as I finish it, I'm probably going to go ahead and start the next one, which is Shaman's Crossing. I'm going to be immersion reading this, which is the same thing I'm doing with The Way of Shadows. I'm immersion reading this one, which just means that I'm listening to the audiobook while I read along with my eyeballs. And so it helps me, number one, when I read something physically, it is so much easier for me. Like, okay, let me give you an example. Well, let me not give you an example of something I haven't read yet. Let me give you an example in here. So if I'm right here and I see the chapter break, and I'm reading on this side, and I'm like, oh, something's about to happen. It is so easy for me to flick my eyes over here and read this last line and see what they just said. Like, I just skip all of this because I think something cool is about to happen right there. And then I'm like, crap, I have to go back and read this. So I spoil it for myself sometimes when I'm physically reading a book. So if I'm reading and listening, it's much easier for me to stay with the paragraph I'm on and the words that I'm listening to instead of back and forth, instead of my eyes jumping back and forth. So all that to say, I really think I'm going to start this today. It is the biggest book that I have physically to read, and I did give myself 6 days, but it has about 600 pages. So technically, I only have to read 98 pages a day, but I think I'm just going to shoot for 100 pages in this a day. So if I can get a little bit ahead today, that'll help me out for tomorrow. I think that's all. I've only read one Robin Hobb book, and it was not in this series, of course, because this is a new series. So I'm excited to read that. I'm still listening to 2 chapters in The Fires of Heaven. I think actually we're doing 3 chapters today because one of them is really short. And so Andrew kind of determines that, and I just read whatever he tells me to read. And then I'm reading Echo during the day, listening to Echo during the day, and then I'm listening to Well Met at night when it's time to go to bed. So I have 5 hours left in Echo, and I have 8 hours left in Well Met. So that is my plan right now, is to continue on with everything that I have. I'm going to read my short story, I'm going to read The Way of Shadows, and I'm going to finish 7 Spanish Angels and start Shaman's Crossing, especially if I have a lot more reading time tonight, which I should. Once we get back from dinner, my husband's doing something. Oh, the people who are going to be moving into our house when we move out, they already know that they're going to be living here. So they're going to call my husband, and he's going to take them on a Zoom call tour of our house to just show them what their house is going to look like when they get here. So I think that's happening after dinner tonight. So I guess that is all. How many times can I say so? Django is whining because I'm talking to the camera. And so I'm going to go sit with him, or let him sit with me, and get my work done so that I can read. The shopping is done. I got some books, so we're going to talk about those. And he got his clothes that he's happy with for prom. But I forgot the other day. I got my Book of the Month books in and forgot about it. I mean, I didn't forget about the books. I forgot to show them to you. They're still in the box. I set them in here on the bottom shelf so that I would remember to tell you about them, and I forgot. Okay, so I'm going to do the Book of the Month books first. I got 3, and then I'm going to do the Goodwill books. I also got 3. I got Like a Sister by Kelly Garrett. This is the pick for this month, right? Yeah, April. And it's a thriller, so I got it. That's all I know about it. I don't know anything else yet. I got The Maid by Nita Prose. Everybody kept talking about this. I've seen a lot of reviews on it. It came out, well, it just says Thrills and Chills Book of the Month. So I'm not sure when it came out, when it was originally released, but it's a Thrills and Chills one, and everybody says that they like it. It has now gotten up to 90 degrees, and it was hot in the, where were we? In the Goodwill, and my office is also hot because it's outside. There's no air conditioning, and I had a long sleeve shirt on today, like thinking that if I wore long sleeves that it would magically be cold, and it's not. Okay, next one. The Heart's Invisible Furies, John Boyne. This was the 2017 book of the year. I just decided, what if I got some of the books of the years and tried those out? This is from August 2017, and it is big. So I didn't realize it was going to be this big. I have no idea what it's about, except that it was the book of the year. So I thought, well, I'm going to get it. So I may be getting more of the books of the year just to check them out and see what I think about them. Okay, my Goodwill books. First of all, I've been picking up these Newbery winners just anywhere I see them. And this is from the Mixed Up Files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler. It was a hardback, and it looks to be in fantastic condition. And I was like, okay, I'm getting that. Then, because it's Stephen King, and it's a hardback in what feels like new condition, like whatever this discounted tag on it was $16, and I got it for $2.99. Anyway, Revival by Stephen King. I don't know anything about this. The top of it says, in one way at least, our lives really are like movies. So I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. It's not on my list of Dark Tower referenced books, and I don't know that it's something that I've heard of before, but I'm also not sure when it came out. They just put it on their shelves yesterday. The tag on it says 4/11/22, as well as this one, Stories by Stephen King. I love the cover of this. It's called The Bazaar of Bad Dreams. And I was like, oh, that looks awesome. And then another collection of short stories. So I'm going to add it to my short story collection and put it in my rotation. So once I finish what I'm doing for April, this might pop up, and I'm excited about it. So that's what I got from Goodwill today, and that's my Book of the Month books. Now that we're done shopping, I've got some work to finish up, and we're doing family dinner out tonight, so I'm going to try to get this work done before we go so that when we get back, it'll be nothing but reading today. Okay, good morning. I finished 2 books yesterday, and I filled up my reading life journal. It only holds 100 books, and I just did the 100th one this morning, which was 7 Spanish Angels. So let's talk about that right quick. That book was so good. It is one of the longer Stephen Graham Jones books that I have read, but it's like a serial killer mystery. We start out with a detective. Well, she's not a detective. She is a crime scene tech in training, and she gets a call to go to this crime scene. And when she gets there, the detective that's in charge, he's like, I didn't want you. I wanted Richard, this guy named Richard. who is apparently her trainer, also slash boyfriend. And so this guy, but Richard's gone, and we find out why. As we go through the story, we find out why Richard didn't come and why she did. And these women are being exsanguinated, so all their blood is coming out of their body or being taken out of their body, but there's no blood around them at the scene. So it's just a big mystery. And how are they getting in? And how is the blood being drained? And all that stuff. And in typical Stephen Graham Jones fashion, though, it's very much like, I'm so confused at parts about what's going on, because I thought we were leading toward one guy being the killer or one person being the killer, and then it would switch to another person, and then at one point there's like 3 different people all in the room together, and you think that any of the 3 of them could be the killer, and then somebody says, what if they're working together? And I was like, oh my gosh. So this is one of my favorite Stephen Graham Jones books, and it's not available in anything other than an ebook, and he explains at the end why that is the way that it is. So I loved that. I loved his explanation at the end, like I always do. I like how he talked about the characters, especially he named a few of the characters and how he felt about them in this book as he was writing it. I loved it. I always love the author notes, but sometimes garbage people showed up, and the dogs feel like they need to defend our house from the people who are coming to get our garbage. I feel like this might be definitely in the top 3 of my Stephen Graham Jones books. I really, really liked it. Okay. Then I finished Echo by Pam Munoz Ryan. This book was so different than what I was expecting. It is all about music. I'm going to tell you right now, if you have somebody in your life who loves music, this was a Newbery winner. You can even see on my copy, there's a little sticker down here in the corner of this like tiny version that says Newbery winner. So this book is for all ages. And if you have somebody in your life that loves music, I think they would really like this book, especially if they also like historical fiction. This takes place beginning in the 1930s and ending in the 1950s, maybe? I'm not sure when it ends, but definitely after World War II is the like epilogue part at the end. So we follow, though, not necessarily a person, we're following a harmonica. But the harmonica is not like personified or anything. It's just there, and these people keep finding it, and it's the story about those people. So I just thought that it was fantastic. And so the first section is about a boy in Germany, a German boy with his family. Well, his dad and his sister. His sister is coming home. She's been away at school. And when she comes home, she is definitely like pro-Hitler. This is what we're doing for Germany and all of this stuff. And the boy and his dad work in a harmonica factory. Like they make harmonicas. And the boy, though, has a really bad birthmark on his face. Not really bad, just really big. And in Germany, that means he's got a defect. And so this is the 30s in Germany. And so he has to be reported so that he can have a surgery to sterilize him so that this birthmark, or what they called, I forgot what they called it, defective in some kind of way. Anyway, so that would not be passed down to other people. And he and his dad ends up getting taken and all kinds of stuff happen. But he finds the harmonica, the little boy does, one day he's not a little boy, he's a teenager. But to me, I don't know, I just kept thinking he was a little boy, but he's a teenager. And he finds it while he is working at the harmonica factory with his dad. And so the first story is just about him and how they're trying to resolve their situation. And then we jump forward a few years and we're in Philadelphia area, Pennsylvania. And there is 2 boys who are living at a boys' home because their mom died. Well, their dad died, and their mom moved in with their grandmother, and then their mom died, and their grandmother raised them for as long as she could, and then she got too old to take care of them. So they're like 7 and 12 or 7 and 11 or something like that, and they are in this home, and they find the harmonica. and it's about their section is about how they get the harmonica and what happens to them and their process of getting out of the home or not getting out of the home and how all of that works. And then the third story is all the way over in California, and it is a girl and her parents. Her brother has already joined the Army after Pearl Harbor. So it's already been over a year since Pearl Harbor happened at this point where we are in history. And her brother has joined the Army, did it on his 18th birthday, and her family has been offered a unique position they have to move. So they move from where they're living and they move onto the farm of some Japanese Americans who have been taken to a Japanese internment camp in the United States. And they are going to pay him to keep their farm going and not to sell. They're planning on not selling it so that when they're out of the internment camps, they have their land back. So her and her mom and dad it's just about them settling there and what they're doing and how the harmonica makes its way to her and then how she passes it on to the next person. So it's just, I don't know, it's such a unique way to do a story where you get to tell history from ordinary people in just living their normal lives. So it was just great. I really, really liked it. So I just finished 2 really good books and I'm happy about it. So let's talk about some stats. I realized yesterday when I was editing that I said the daily stats, but I didn't say the total stats. I just threw them up on the screen. So anyway, the daily stats are, I read 88 physical pages, and then I read 8 hours and 43 minutes of audio, and that brings the total to 1,399 pages and 9 hours and 38 minutes of audio. I am all done for today. I'm going to leave you here, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.